Good morning. I do believe that we will be live in just a moment. Okay, here we are. We are live. Good morning, Facebook. Happy Tuesday. All right, every day can be a happy day, but some days we have to learn how to reroute, adjust, because sometimes our plans don't always go as expected. So I am Cecelia Marlow, mortgage mom with the Federal Savings Bank, and I am super excited to have with me today Miss Latesha Steele of Chicago Homes Realty, real estate broker extraordinaire, and we are going to have an amazing conversation this morning for just a few minutes. Now, let me just say this. Miss Latesha was traveling over the weekend to see her mom and anticipated actually being back in Chicago for her actual Facebook Live this morning. But as we know, sometimes our plans don't necessarily work out the way that they should or could, or we thought that they would. So I am really grateful that she did not flake out on me, I guess is the word.
No reneging.
That she was super committed to being here this morning to share with our audience. And so, as you know, I am a lender and I specialize in working with first-time home buyers. And the whole purpose of Facebook and our Tuesdays at 10ish is really to inspire, to educate, and then really to call you to action. And so today, Latesha and I are going to have a conversation that hopefully will give you more insight into the professional world of real estate. Oftentimes as a lender and oftentimes as a real estate broker, an attorney, a home inspector, the key people that are on your team. I believe that people sometimes think that we're supposed to just be yes people. Number one, always accessible. Number two, and today we're going to kind of dispel that by sharing with you a few things that will make your real estate broker fire you or drop you like a bad habit. So this is meant to be a really real conversation because as you all know, the market is extremely busy. And many of us as professionals are managing our time and we're working 12, 14, 16-hour days to make sure that you're well taken care of. But today we want to set some standards and set a tone of excellence and share with you why you might be getting the response that you possibly are getting or how to not put yourself in a response or in a position to get a certain response from your real estate broker. So Miss Latesha, I am going to let you take it away and share with us just a couple of things that would have your real estate broker fire you or drop you like a bad habit if you're a buyer or even a seller.
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. And as Ms. Marlow has indicated, I have had to reroute this morning as it relates to my plans. So I will dive right in and speak about my experience and my opinions of why uh, relationships should be terminated. To sound
I like
politically
that.
correct.
I like that.
For me, when working with sellers are they tend to be a little bit more emotional in the transaction, and I say that to say working with sellers that have been in their homes for years, and regardless to the reason why they're selling, there's still an emotional tie. So value is placed on their emotion more so than the reality of the actual evaluation or the home itself. And I would just say that relationships can be terminated because, as Cecilia indicated, most people they have their own idea. So those ideas turn into their expectations. Then even though they may not be realistic, they actually turn into orders that will not be filled. And as opposed to barking out or expecting things without the understanding, a complete understanding. That's the way, because that time, during that time, you're wasting time. So now you're going back and forth about value, back and forth about the actual the value of the home, the fair market value, whether or not the condition would relate to the next home that you saw down the street. So again, just not taking advice and expecting your broker to be an order taker could definitely waste time and be cause for me to terminate a relationship that's not fruitful.
I love it. I often use the analogy that as real estate professionals, the reality is that you can't call your doctor today and just go show up at the office, right, with an appointment. Typically, there's a scheduling process, right? Nor if your doctor shared with you results that you weren't necessarily in alignment with, would you necessarily go back and forth? Might you get a second opinion? Absolutely. However, if two doctors came to you and said, hey, this is the condition that we're dealing with, and here are the ways in which we can treat that, then 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to be more accepting of what that situation looks like. Right. So I use that because oftentimes as I'm working with buyers and they have an expectation that they called you as the real estate, not you, Latesha, but they called their real estate broker today because they saw this amazing property on the market that just came on the market today and they want to go see it in 30 minutes. And that's just not a realistic expectation in many instances, because if you are anything like me, most of the time your day is already planned out. So I know that I have appointments today at 10 o'clock, at 11 o'clock, at 11:30, at 1 o'clock, right? And so if you've already scheduled clients for showings on today, just because this property came on the market today and another buyer has waved their hand that they would like to see it, you can't always accommodate that. Not only that, but you're not the only person that is involved with that decision. So there is a scheduling process with the listing agent that has to take place. So one of the reasons why I wanted us to have this conversation is because I really do believe that we need to begin to share these types of tips with individuals as it relates to the real estate process. And I really do believe that as we are assisting people with buying one of the most important purchases of their entire life, in many instances, that a proper etiquette, professional etiquette, that conversation is just needed to be had, right? So if a buyer, for example, I've gotten 3 phone calls since we've been on the Facebook Live, right? But this was already an appointment in my calendar. Now, will those individuals get called back today? Absolutely. On the time block in my calendar that says return phone calls, right? So I would like to see the respect level in the industry raised, as well as the expectation level in the industry raised, such that we can have great professional partnerships and all of our clients feel loved on.
Right.
Right?
Mhm.
Is there anything else that you would is there anything else that you would add to that?
So definitely, as it relates to just understanding time, respecting time, that's huge. And as we know, things happen, so you have to reroute. But understanding, like you said, I'm happy to service you. I'm happy to provide you with what you need. I would love to be your agent. However, um, it's not. Is it Burger King? Is it Burger King? Can't have it your way all the time. And for me, if I receive those calls from buyers saying I want to go out today to see this property, I absolutely have to have it. Um, Even if we did go and see that property right away, there's a chance that if you love it as much someone else does, and there's a chance that there may be an offer on it. So for me, I would like to take the time, step back, review the entire situation. So if we're going to see this home, I like to provide you with all the information to make a knowledgeable decision on whether or not you even like to move forward. If you don't have uh, substantiating information to help you make the right decision, then I just don't see it being, again, fruitful or beneficial for either one of us. Now we're just, going and turning keys, and that's not how we approach, um, like you said, one of the biggest transactions of your life. I mean, you definitely want to put some strategic planning into it. And I mean, all the way from the beginning, educating yourself so that you understand all the way through the process, or even have some idea of what that conversation is about. So again, if you're not educated, then that can pose a problem as well. If you're not interested in figuring out what those things mean, the terminology even, because you can get into situations where you have a buyer and they're like, oh, what does this mean? And so for me, that right there is a time waster. Before you dive into anything, you definitely have to do your due diligence to make sure that you're ready to move forward and not have unrealistic expectations for your broker. And again, on one of the largest purchases. So just put the time in. And I think those relationships would not have to be severed if everyone is doing their due diligence and moving forward in the same direction.
Absolutely. So the last thing that I'll say is I often get a call because a buyer is wanting to make an offer on a property that they already saw and they need a pre-approval right away. I am happy to assist with pre-approving you as a buyer. However, that is a process. And so a pre-approval is not simply me pulling credit and you sharing with me how much you make. A pre-approval is a full financial assessment, which means that as you are looking to be pre-approved such that you can make a solid offer, then W-2s, tax returns, pay stubs, bank statements, and potentially additional documentation that are going to support your full loan file would be required. So, as Ms. Latesha just shared, making sure that you're knowledgeable and that you understand the entire process is very important. And we're happy to have those conversations with you. As a matter of fact, we just had a home buyer workshop just a couple of weeks ago online. So please feel free to continue to, check out Facebook Live. This is typically where we do share our upcoming events, including homebuyer workshops, and educate yourself as much as you can. We love to help you. We hope that this has inspired you, giving you a little bit more insight into the lending and the buying process. And Latesha, where can people find you if they are looking for an amazing real estate broker to work with and to work within your process? How can they find you? You're on mute.
Sorry. Again, I am Latesha Steele with Chicago Homes Realty Group. I can be reached on Facebook Messenger, or you can reach me by email, and that is Latesha at Chicago Homes with an SRE.com, or by my mobile phone at 630-723-4224. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, okay, look, hurry home, get home safely, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks,
All right.
Facebook. Talk to
Thank
you guys
you.
soon. See you
Thank
next
you.
Tuesday.